right. Gonna be a Baptist preacher so that I won't have to work. Well, I'm in the pulpit, jumping up and down, 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 down. Yeah, I'm in the pulpit, jumping up and down. Okay. Well, I've been hiring good news all the miles around. My sister jumped up now, ooh, she began to grin. Yeah, she did. Well, my sister jumped up, ooh, she began to grin.
Here we go.
Hey,
Round 2.
it's like a glitch in the Matrix, Tom. We're back.
Hopefully you're going to find us.
Hopefully.
If you're catching up with the audio version, then you're fine. It worked when you pressed play. It was a miracle, but for everyone else,
Yeah, we're
chaos.
about 84 minutes late.
Absolute chaos.
Yeah.
But we're here. We're in the bar again. Good
Welcome
evening.
to Thursday night at Finnegan's.
Why don't we straight away say hello to Reuben, who's always on time. Here he
Yes,
is.
it
Perfect
is.
swing.
Was here when it started. So
That's
Fabulous.
Mate, thanks so much for joining
Yeah.
us
it's
tonight.
great to be here. It's a real privilege.
You've literally travelled from another country to be
have.
with us today.
You know what I have?
It's been like
have.
trains, planes, and automobiles.
Honestly, I don't even want to
Or-
go there.
or
It's
lack
been
of trains,
a long
planes.
drive, cancellations,
Oh my
dodgy
word.
cars. But I'm here. That's the main
What a
thing. I actually
superstar.
knocked on the door next door. Is it 32?
Yeah.
Rang the ring doorbell with the iron bruise. Some fella opened the door, young guy, and he's
he
like,
went.
"I think you need to be next door."
That was Craig, was it? One of
One of
Craig's
the big
boys.
Craig,
Yeah,
one of
young
his
lad.
lads.
He's like, you're looking
Hello,
for that
Craig.
nut house next
Thank you for
door.
sending our guest over. Yes.
Good
fab.
evening. If you're finding us, welcome to the podcast for
Yes.
the evening. This is called Wednesday Night at Finnegan's. If you're
Yeah.
joining us for the first time, we meet every Wednesday evening in the bar
About 8 o'clock.
around 8 o'clock, if all goes to plan. And we spend the evening talking about life, talking about faith.
Nonsense.
And we always have a
So,
guest in the bar
we do.
for the evening.
Yeah.
So we're overjoyed to have Reuben with
we're
us.
overjoyed, yeah. It's I thought this was going to be a good one when you turned up in your Christmas jumper. It's
Do
like
you know
your
what?
mum got you when you were 14.
I know it's a
and
bit.
it fitted. Look at the arms. Look at the arms. Look.
Do you know what I think's
He hasn't even
happened?
got a watch. What's going on here?
No, but look at this. I mean, if you're just listening to the audio
Oh,
version, you're
no,
missing
no,
out.
no.
But look at this.
That's
Look at that. Right, let's go that side. Look at that.
Look at it. You've had that jumper for about, well, since you were 14.
I know, it's a little
And
bit
it
baggy
defo
now.
used to fit at some point.
I think it's okay.
That's why you
I
have to
think
pull
it's
the
okay.
arms up, isn't it? Because it's
No,
too
well-
short. He does that to make himself look like he's in the
No.
80s
No,
pop band or something, doesn't he? Eh?
The
Hey,
80s
catch
thing.
your Googie.
It's
Come on.
back. It's back.
Yeah, the
that
80s look
wham
is
sort
back.
of thing is back
Yeah,
now.
yeah. Well, are you bringing it back?
I'm
you rocking it?
I'm trying.
Yeah. Oh, we got flies. How do we have flies in this
Oh,
one? It's
it's
freezing
all
in this
gone
place.
to pot. Well, every week, so
We
you
do.
can check out all our previous episodes.
Like, what is it? You've got the
Like and
pattern.
subscribe, rate and review.
I love that.
I wish I could say that was
I
mine.
wish I
Look,
could say it.
Miriam says she loves that jumper. And Emma
I
said,
tell you what, Miriam, you can have that jumper.
Tom's
Tom
not so sure.
said, Tom said he's got your address. He'll
I've not
drop
got-
it
I've
off
not bought her address.
personally. He's got an address.
sorry. It's going to be one of those nights, isn't it?
We need to clear this up.
Oh, wow. Look at this.
We need to clear this up. What is this called? I reckon
Well-
it's Iron Brew.
Who's
Iron. Iron.
who's Iron Brew?
This. It's not Iron Brew, is it? Because
Honestly.
it doesn't say iron.
You've never sounded so ridiculous to me, and that is saying something. Iron Brew. Reuben, come on.
I'm gonna text one of my Scottish colleagues now
Yeah.
and.
But
clear this up.
how'd you get it in a text? They'll just send that name back.
Would you say how would you spell it phonetically? Iran. Like
No,
Iran.
that's what you're saying.
Yeah, no,
Iron,
I'm saying
iron.
like
iron brew.
iron, like
Iron
I'm
is in
saying,
iron.
I'm literally saying iron, IRN.
Yeah, people are mocking you.
Don't
People are
start mocking me.
absolutely
Hey,
mocking you.
I know where half of yous live. I'll be down. I'll give you the iron brew. I'll take this and come down and fill you in.
Wow, aggressive.
In a nice
Should I say, but
pastoral type of way, obviously.
Thank you. Reuben brought this all the way
Yeah,
from
he
Scotland
did.
today. That's the proper Scottish stuff. You know, like you get Guinness in Belfast, it tastes
Yeah.
better. It's the same with
they
iron
love
brew.
the iron.
So let's open that up.
Oh, here we go.
Here we
Someone's
go.
drinking out the bottle and everything. Oh,
what was you?
You
What, are you a southerner?
Gab. Yeah, have you seen your lips most of the time? No one else can touch that now.
That's
You've
exactly
got
it.
scabby lips
I'm claiming
everywhere.
it. I'm claiming it.
And literally, your poor kids can't have any of that now. Cry on here, come on.
Let
come
us
on,
say
cry
hello
on
if
here,
you're
Hope.
watching. Let us know you're here. We've got all right, Andy's in, Nicola's in. Nice to
Have
have you,
they found
Miriam.
us? Have
Nice
they
to have
found
Emma
us?
and Ray. They're finding us.
They're
People are going,
finding
iron brew.
I'm not saying iron.
Alan, Mark's in. Alan, sorry, mate.
Iron.
No chance.
Come on, man.
Made in Scotland from girders, not
Yeah.
iron brew. My daughter, she's 11 and she's mocking you. She's mocking you something fierce.
That's because you're wearing a jumper. That fits it.
Okay.
Look at it.
Look, that is Wham. Have you been whammed yet? Have you been whammed?
No,
Whamageddon.
I haven't. No.
Have you not?
No.
I put it on at the nativity service.
Just to
have
do
that.
everyone's head in.
Headphones in. So very good. We've had some good news this
Oh.
week, haven't we?
Oh, Reuben, you're never going to believe this.
Come on.
Basically, we some time ago we applied for some equipment for the podcast from an organisation called the Baptist Insurance.
What an
Company.
organisation. I'm not going to lie to you. Probably the best insurance company
And
in the
so
world.
we applied in the competition for £500
Yeah.
for like innovation.
You got it. You got double.
No, they went with what was it?
Someone else.
Digital frames that someone was doing, like SD
give out.
cards, and we thought, well, how's this not?
Because they wanted to bless us more.
So
That's what it was.
Alan basically for the last year has
Don't
been
say that.
ranting.
No. I've
He's
been-
calling this organisation every name under the sun, names I thought a Christian wouldn't even know.
No.
And,
I like them.
well,
They're my
why?
favourite
Why do
organisation.
you like them now?
Because they give us some money for some equipment.
They've come up golden.
They have.
I
They
don't
now
know.
What have you got?
sponsor
What
this
have you got?
podcast.
Well, we've not bought
haven't
it
got
yet.
Oh, you haven't got it.
It's
We
not
only
in
got
the
the
bank.
news yesterday.
But
Okay.
So it's fresh off the press.
have a little
this.
guess if you're watching.
Honestly,
have a little
honestly.
guess how much money, and we'll
Yeah,
just
have a
say
little
higher
guess.
or lower.
Have a little guess, yeah.
But honestly,
but also,
it's a
we're
game
going to have
changer.
to put a logo in the corner, sponsored by the
Sponsored by the Baptist
Who are
Insurance.
they? The Baptist Church, though.
Baptist Insurance Company.
They're the only ones with any money.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we've given it most of them because
We
people
haven't.
keep
We've
trashing
took
our
most of them
building.
when people set fire to it and
Our
stuff
premiums
like that.
are so high.
Yeah.
So they're just giving back to us. But
Our
yeah, so
premiums are.
do you know what? You're going to see us in even better HD. Maybe that sound stuff and all that. That'll
It'll
be a thing of
work
the
properly.
past.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're getting new beer mats without cold sore
And
mouth.
you'll be able to get a new jumper for Christmas. It's all good, isn't it?
It's all come up roses.
It's all going to be
It's
boss.
all come up roses.
Oh, we couldn't have asked for more, could we?
We have it
Hey.
for Christmas.
Well, for Christmas, yeah.
So this is our second to last episode, and next week we're going to have our Christmas special.
Yeah.
And this is just a warm up. Next week,
What are you going to do? You're
raising
going
the
to tie
game.
it so it fits for next week? Hey,
It's cheekier. Look at that. There's nothing wrong with that.
What a day.
That's on TV.
Well,
That's recorded. That I've got a case now.
no, you haven't.
Do you know what that was? That
You've
was.
got a chest, not a case.
Do you know what that was? That was my next holiday. That was my next cruise coming now. Flipping heck, I'm willing to settle out of court
You
for
get
2
nothing
weeks
off
in
me,
Jamaica.
lad. You get nothing off me, will you?
Right, okay.
honest.
£1 million, someone said. No, it wasn't quite.
A little bit
We'll
lower.
go lower.
Yeah.
We'll go a little bit lower. Anyway,
This makes everything sound rubbish now, doesn't it?
it does, doesn't it? It started with £1 million.
Yeah, well, we're disappointed
We'll work
now,
our way
aren't we?
back from there. Anyway, if you're watching on Facebook, give this a little share with your friends. Give it a like. Give it a subscribe. Rate.
And review,
There you go.
like,
All right.
subscribe. What, share's not there, though, is it? Rate and review.
Well, that's the next
Oh,
one.
you need another one in there.
I don't know. I'll work something out.
Yeah, come on.
Reuben,
Hello.
tell us
Hello.
about this journey today.
Yeah.
Then. Where were you? Why? Where were you in Scotland? What were you doing?
Just wanted to go up there, just have a bit of
Just
time, get some iron brew for you.
Yeah.
No, so we're doing an event up in Glasgow, and we've just hired some new staff, some great administrators. So it was a case of just going up there for the day, and obviously this was in the diary. So I want to honour what's in the diary. So I said, look, I can go up.
Yeah.
Went up last night, but I've got to leave by 3. Then they decided to cancel my train. So I'm scrapping around trying to find a car rental. They give me, I don't know if I've shared this on the last one before it broke or this one. But just an electric car that didn't want to move. So I had to charge it at 3 different service stations. So a 3.5-hour journey took like 6.5 hours.
They've not quite worked out the kinks yet with electric cars. I want to
They're
help.
all right if you're just going around local, aren't they? And you're not going any distance, forget it.
But they told me 250 miles. So I was like, well, even if it's just one charge.
That's when they were selling you it, Reuben.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I'm there. I couldn't even have the heating on.
No.
Because apparently that would knock 30 miles off my trip. So I'm literally shaking. Windows steaming up. I'm wiping it down.
I'm sticking with diesel. I'm
Stick
trying
with
to
it.
help the planet, but
Yes.
it's not helping itself.
I'm helping it finish quicker. I think global warming would be really good for us because it's freezing up north, isn't it?
It's getting
Let's
worse.
be
isn't it?
honest, it'd be boss for us, won't it? Might be a bit rough in other places, but for us up north, it's a game
we're on
changer.
the, well, it will be because we're on the coast, isn't it? So that would be the end of Liverpool.
Oh, well, never mind. I'll soon be dead anyway. Who's bothered?
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Reuben. If you've got any questions for Reuben, we know.
And particularly if you know him really well and you've got stories you want to tell.
There we go.
There we go. Well,
That's
we can
what we
ask him
like.
about stuff if you like.
We had Connor on last week, and his nan was
his
watching,
nan.
and that just backfired on him
That's
terribly,
brilliant.
didn't it?
Then we had the
some
Hillsong fella on him. Whenever
Mike.
it is, Mike.
Because every guest is a cherished person for
Yeah,
us.
yeah. Mike-
That Hillsong
Mike
fella,
McGlynn, he was
the other
all right.
fella. He was fantastic.
He was all right.
Do you know
Just
what?
his
I've been
boss was
loving your
a bit weird.
episodes because it's like my old gang are
It
all
is.
Lonnie and Yates, Tim Coates,
So well,
Mike
haven't you?
McGlynn.
You were a good
We're
generation.
surviving.
You were a
weren't
good
you?
generation.
That was a good
You
generation.
should have been in my generation. Useless.
But I reckon it's all you because I remember we had those late night service
Yeah,
meetings, and I
we
remember
did.
you coming along back in the day. And
Oh, dear.
What,
Yeah.
to speak or something like that?
yeah,
Yeah.
to speak.
Wow, look at
So
you.
this was
Look at me, eh?
this was like 2008.
Something.
That was a long time ago.
Inspiring the
it.
next generation,
Inspiring
Alan.
the next
Who would have
generation.
thought?
Look at you. Look what it's done for you. Hey, little cheeky jobs.
I'm following in your close
Yeah,
size.
you're getting close. I'll lend you some of my jumpers soon, Tom. You'll be all right.
Wow.
Yeah. You'll be in them any day
Honestly,
now.
you never see a man die so quickly with that offer. Next time
At
you
least
see
you'll
me,
be fashionable for once in your life.
that's not going to happen.
Dear me.
So you, you grew up in Liverpool, did you, Reuben? Let's get into it. Let's
Yeah.
get into the detail
Yeah.
now.
Well, do you know what? A lot of my work colleagues that are American, they always rip me because I live on the Wirral and I've
Okay.
spent half my life on the Wirral. And whenever I'm in Liverpool and I'm around them and I say, oh, I'm from Liverpool, they go, well, you're not, are you? And these are Americans.
These are
that say
Americans.
this.
wow.
So the Americans even get it.
Yeah. But the other day I was on Ancestry. Have you heard of Ancestry?
That's
Where you can find out your
who
family
your
tree
real
and
dad
stuff.
is. Yeah.
I just went down like a mad rabbit hole at like
Yeah.
3 a.m. Someone got their DNA and was like, oh, I'm from this place. So I was like, ooh. And I got a 2-week free trial. Go on it. Found out that we've been in Liverpool for the last 400-500 years. So
Wow.
Used to be pig farmers.
something like that. So I can say, you know,
You're a proper scouser.
I'm like one of them with
through
the
and through.
how the old Liverpool tops and the black afros and
That's
the
it.
calm down. But
That's
yeah,
it.
so Wirral, Liverpool. I was actually born in a different place, Poole in Dorset. And my parents became missionaries to Liverpool.
Did they?
And you might not know this, but your dad, for a short period, your mum and dad actually were
Yeah.
my parents' youth leaders. How funny is that?
So
Don't know if
that's
you knew that
where
or not.
the inspiration came from, not you at LNS.
But your
It all
dad.
makes sense now.
It was your
It
dad.
all comes back to me.
It wasn't
All
you,
back
it's
to
your-
your dad, yeah.
Oh, that's cool. That's
It
great.
comes full circle, so yeah.
Ah, very good.
So
Fantastic.
your kids will be inspired by Jack.
Oh.
Jack's an inspiration, isn't he?
He
Look
is
at
an
him.
inspiration.
He
Do you
looks
know
like
what?
he's nearly asleep.
We made the mistake of telling him how much funding we got, and his eyes lit up.
Yeah.
I think he thought, hang on, I'm due a pay rise now.
Yeah.
So
He's the only one making money out of this podcast,
He's-
ain't he?
he's headed off
Mate,
to Germany.
You're the one that makes it tick, though, yeah?
Well,
He is.
or go off. One of the two.
One or the other, yeah.
Yeah.
So, tell us then, Reuben. Let's get into it. Tell us about life and faith. And it sounds like your parents moved to Liverpool. Like as part of they were already Christians, and they came.
Yeah, they were. They were already Christians. They moved up, and they were a little bit worried when they were coming up because they'd heard a few things about Liverpool, but now they see this as their adoptive city. They love it. But this is all I remember. I grew up in Garston.
Okay.
And then I think when I got to around 8 years old, 7, 8, they were a bit worried about the schools over this side. So that was one of the reasons why they moved over the water. So all of my teenage years, everything like that was spent on the Wirral. And then at 18, I'm 33 now, at 18, they were like, no, God called us to Liverpool. So they moved back and we were involved in Kenny of all places. So
nice.
Got a soft spot
for those
Kenny.
who don't know, when he says Kensington, don't think London, okay?
No.
Think it's like the oldie version of Kensington.
Do you
not
remember
the M&S
Netto?
version.
Netto,
Yeah,
do you remember
yeah.
Netto, I
Like the
remember
Netto
Netto,
version.
Yeah.
So it's a bit.
Yellow and black bag.
It's why? In what way? What's it like?
That's what the bags were, yellow and black.
Yeah, no. I'm
There was a
talking
joke
about
that I can't say.
Kensington now. What's the? So it was
Well,
like
Kensington
a tough community. Yeah,
in London
it's lovely, isn't it?
It's lovely.
Yeah.
Kensington in Liverpool is rough as toast.
Wow.
It makes me happy I'm from Bootle.
Does it?
Let's just put it that way.
Okay. And so your
I
parents.
don't care if you're watching from Kensington. I don't care. Have you not got that yet? I just don't care.
They're not watching. So you came to Kensington, 18 years
Kensington.
old, with your family. For you, that
was
move,
18, yeah.
Were you already a Christian at that point? Did you
I was.
have
So
faith?
yeah,
Did
no,
you?
I grew up in a Christian family, and I think when I was younger, I always hated the fact that I grew up in a Christian family because I had no
Okay.
Christian mates outside in school. They were all outside of school, and I thought actually I've got no cool story. You know, I used to hear stories in the youth groups about the drug addicts and the alcoholics and those that were suicidal, and I thought I need a story like that. But thankfully that didn't happen, and the worst I did was probably say a few swear words. That was my rebellion
Oh, wow.
to a T. So I was around 15 years old, and I was really embarrassed about my faith at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had some moments when I was younger of trying to share my faith in school, and it was going down like a lead balloon. And so I just kind of stepped away from it. And my summer one year was said, you'll remember this, you may have even been there, it was 2005. May 25th, Steven Gerrard had just lifted the European Cup.
Thought you
I
would
was
have known
not
a day
there, no.
like that.
I was not there, but yeah.
Yeah, so my summer was said it was to play footy, emulate Steven Gerrard, and try and find a girlfriend. But my parents had other plans, and they shipped me off to a youth kind of Christian camp, and I wanted nothing to do with it. But being a mummy's boy, I went and thought I'd dig my feet in. Didn't want to be there. I'd just get through it and then get back home with my mates. And I probably lasted around 20 minutes in the worship set, the music, and just really felt convicted to just, give everything back over to God. And then it's just been a steady progression journey since then. Ups and downs, but just walking closely with the
Great.
Lord.
So there was something about that. So you were singing songs. A time of worship, as we might call it. But you're singing songs to God, and there was something about the experience, something that happened in that room that changed
and some
things
people
for
would
you.
say, it was just an emotional experience, but I believe that it was the Lord himself. And, I was doing things that weren't good. I was in a place where I was just feeling like, at a young age, and we all deal with things in different ways, but I was just very angry, lived for the opinion of people, just involved, watching things, doing things that just weren't giving me life. And so in that place, I just thought, what, there's a better way than this. And actually growing up in that background, I knew that there were certain things that I was doing that weren't right and weren't good. And I guess the Lord just went, whoop, we're gonna fix this up.
Wow.
And so it was in that moment, in that time, where the Lord just really did a work on me. And there's a lot more to even that story of that camp. But that's where I started saying, you know what, I'm going to do what I can to follow Jesus, even if it's unpopular.
Wow.
Best decision I've ever made.
And so that was about 16 years old, was
Yeah,
it?
15, 16 years old.
I mean, it is hard. Obviously, I grew up. My mum and dad had become Christians when they were in their late teens, and so I was taken along to church.
You want to grow up with someone who isn't a Christian?
What do you mean?
Well, everyone says it's hard growing up with Christian
okay. Oh, mate, I had it so tough.
They're lovely.
No,
They don't let you
not
watch
like
Harry
me
Potter,
mum and
do
dad
they?
were,
That's
no,
it. That's it. But they were lovely. I had a great upbringing, but it was also like...
I bet you've never come home and found your man in the middle of the Naden with your dad trying to hit her with an axe. Have you?
Is that your experience?
Have you come home and you walk in the door and you think, Is the house being robbed? What's going on here?
They don't let us
What
watch
happened?
PGs, Alan,
That's
without them
it
in
was
the room,
tough.
so it's tough.
You speak to my kids, it's tough.
PGs or 12s,
It's
we weren't
tough.
allowed to watch them.
It's tough.
Yeah.
No
I
Harry
tell
Potter.
you what.
What happened to all your possessions?
What possessions?
You said you come home and it looked like someone robbed your house.
My mum and dad had a fight.
Oh, wow.
My dad had turned up drunk again, like he always did, because he went to pub every night after work.
Yeah,
He'd come
okay.
home drunk. My mother had had enough and kicked off. And then he kicked off, and the telly had got thrown, and a
Wow.
window had been smashed, and things like that. My mum was fuming at me now. She's watching this.
Sorry, Linda.
Mum, it was a boss childhood. I wouldn't change it for the world.
Well, for
Yeah.
me, I had the fact that
You never got that, though.
No,
you
no,
Wanted
no.
that
And
excitement.
you're
I
saying,
did, yeah, I
you're
loved
saying
that.
it was
it
tough.
was tough because
Your
people.
parties want to smack across the back of the head.
Honestly, I tell you, when people
was
know you go
tough.
to church and you're a teenager, cool.
Yeah, I became a Christian at 16 and worked on building sites. Don't tell
So
me
you had
about
to
how tough it is. I was on building sites, mate. They hit you with shovels and stuff.
Wow. For
Yeah.
being a Christian.
For anything.
Oh, persecuted.
For anything.
Persecuted faith.
Honestly.
Wow.
Yous have had it easy.
I do remember. Well, this was.
Going on holiday camps and all that.
I do remember. I was
We
playing.
went to Blackpool and Rill.
I was playing tennis.
I was playing
I'm aware.
tennis.
I can hear how
Can
it
you hear your
sounds.
privilege already?
I was at the tennis club. And people were saying, "Oh, do you go to church?" And they were getting into me, and I was embarrassed because
Yeah.
it was like I was
'Cause
not.
you were
I was
rubbish
not
at tennis.
cool. Surprisingly, I was
Mate,
not cool.
I went into year 7 and I was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to tell everyone about Jesus because I had
Yeah.
this great like kids camp, and I went in really naive. Maybe it wasn't naive. Maybe I was just really, bold. I don't know. But I kept trying and it didn't work. And then I kind of said to the Lord, right, I'm going to try one more time. And I was in a history lesson. And the teacher mentioned something about it being very religious back in the day. And I thought, this is my opportunity. And I stood up in front of the class and said, Miss, I'm a Christian. I believe in Jesus. And then just didn't know what to say. And everyone just looked at me. And from that point, my new nickname became Reuben Jubin. And I didn't know I didn't even know what to do with that. So I just thought, you know what, I'm done. That's
Wow.
my evangelism
I
done
mean,
for
that
high
was
school.
bold, wasn't it? That was bold to
That
stand
was.
up.
Bold or silly. I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah,
which one.
probably the latter.
Well, I
Probably
just
the
did.
latter.
I did the opposite.
It was.
I didn't make any bold stance when I went up faith when I was younger. I was at the tennis club, and they said to me, "Do you
Selling
believe in
fireworks."
Jesus?" And I said, "Nope, nope, definitely not."
Not at all.
And they asked me several times.
Who?
It was like that story where
Peter, innit?
Peter denied him 3
Is he-
times,
is
and
he-
then eventually my tennis teacher just went, the kipper, your mum and dad told me you go to church. They lead the church."
Get
And
out.
I was just like, all right, fine. 40 love.
I'm not coming back here
Yeah,
again.
that's it.
Tough is my life.
Yeah, that's it. So that's all right. I've got some stories, me. It's tough.
Oh, yeah, it's
But
tough.
it is. I mean, like
Don't know, lucky you
letting
were.
people know you're a Christian, and then for you as well, it was tough, wasn't it? Poor Alan. We won't get the violins out, but it is standing for your faith and make it. Although most people, statistically speaking, do become Christians in their teens, in their late teens. That there's that point where they, come to a realization that God's real, and they're
16
going to
I
have
was,
to
yeah.
do something about it.
I was doing a gig. I did a
Go
gig
on.
on Friday. Can I just interject here?
Well,
yeah?
of course. Has it got anything to do with what
Yeah,
we're talking
no, it
about?
has.
Or is it just
It has.
random?
I did a gig on Friday and a church gig, and church gigs for me are always a little bit like, ooh, hit and miss, because I'm a bit of a messer. Anyway, and front row, there's 5 teenagers on the front row, 14, 15, 16, whatever. They were all that age.
Yeah.
And I went
Your
to them.
crowd.
And then on the other side, the pastors of the church are there. And I went to them. How old are you? Told me, and I said, you know what? I came to faith at 16, and I'm going to give you some advice, lads. Wait a little longer. And the pastor did that. He went,
And that was like another one you
Yeah.
won't get invited back to.
he's not coming back here. Yeah.
He's never coming back.
They're all off the
Cancelled.
rails now, aren't they?
Yeah, them poor lads, the drug dealers now.
Another generation inspired.
But they'll have a story.
Yeah.
They'll
They
have
will
a
have a
story.
story.
They'll have a testimony to share.
That's it. Dean's in. Nice to
Sorry.
have you with us, Dean. All the way from Maidenhead. Very nice. And John's in. John said, ask him about blowing up the chippy.
Ah,
Does that make sense?
It's not relevant at all to anything. There's no Christian story behind
That's
that.
all right.
We don't. No. It's very relevant now.
I used to work in a chippy.
Yeah.
And you know when you're just like young, and I haven't got ADHD, but you know you just do stuff that you shouldn't do, and you're fiddling and messing around with the boss.
Jack.
Yeah. The boss goes out to pick his kids up from school, and I'm just in there. No one's in there, and I'm looking at this big, massive, deep fat fryer, and I thought, wonder what'll happen if I pour some vinegar in. So I just grabbed it, just started pouring it in. Nothing happened. And then like 30 seconds later, it starts bubbling. Next minute, oil is just bursting out all over the shop.
Oh my
And I have to
word.
dive into the side room. I'm thankful I didn't put too much in. The whole place exploded. But I spent the next hour cleaning it off, wiping the floors, everything. But it was a mess. So yeah, don't put vinegar in your deep fat fryer.
It seems like
There you
so
go, John.
obvious, but so
I hadn't given my life to Jesus by then. I was only 15.
well, there we
that
go.
was my naughty side.
I was going to say, you're telling us you didn't do anything bad, but here he is, burning down chippies. So, Reuben, what happened then when you made that decision at 16?
Yeah.
How's that worked itself out then over the years? I mean, we're always interested by that because a lot of people we have in, they make a decision to become a Christian, and it's not. I think that sometimes people say Christians are hypocritical.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they and actually, in a way, we all are. Like we all,
Sure.
we're not.
Perfect.
We're trying to live a certain way. We're hoping God helps us to do that, but we do fall short. But there's often the people we have in here, they make a choice to follow Jesus, and actually, there's a cost. Life looks different because of it. And was that your experience over from 16, 18 making that decision,
Totally
setting the chippy on fire, and
That was before. That was
Sorry.
in between.
Yeah, but what's it looked like? What's the impact been?
I grew up, even when I wasn't following Jesus, I was quite shy. I was quite insecure. I would see myself as an introvert. A lot of the time when I'm speaking or doing things like this, people go, "Oh, no, you're not." But at a party, for example, you'll know what this is like. But it's like you're not swinging from the chandelier. You'd rather. I hate small talk in church. Honestly, it's my pet hate. Do you know when you're just asking about the weather or something?
Yeah.
And all that. So the Lord started really doing things in my life and stepping me outside of my comfort zone. And I remember during that camp when I had that time with Jesus and I felt like something had changed. I was only 15, 16, but I really felt I wanted it to be real this time. I didn't want to go back to how I was living 6 weeks later. Because you'll know this, as a Christian, you'll go to these camps and you'll have this emotional experience, or the Holy Spirit will do a work in your heart, and then you'll be all pumped up, and then after 3 weeks, you'll be going back to whatever, and then you wait a year to get right with God again for the next camp. And I didn't want it to be that.
Yeah.
So I just said, God, whatever you have for me. And there was a moment even during that time where I played a very small part in seeing someone come to Christ. It was a man at a burger van. And I was going to get milk.
You had the vinegar, didn't you?
Yes. He's like, no!
You've got a choice to make, mate.
Give your life to God. Yeah. But no, I felt the Lord just prompt me to go over. I didn't know how to share my faith. I just kind of mumbled through something, just said, "Oh, God loves you." I thought he was a Christian and he wasn't, but he was just really amazed that he was selling food at this event and no one was like swearing at him or trying to fight him, and people weren't fighting. And
it's because you weren't there.
No, we're playing tennis, smacking him with, But I just said, "Oh, you should go to the evening event. You might like it." And he was just kind of humouring me. He was like, "Oh, I might do, mate." And it was on the very last night I saw him respond to the gospel. Wow. And that's the little part that I had to play, was just kind of going, "Oh, you should go along." But that stirred something in me. And I thought, if I can even play the smallest part in seeing other people come to Jesus, then I'll be happy. And so my story's a mad story, because at 17 I started rapping for Jesus. I don't know even if you knew that. And I wasn't very good either. But I started doing rap music, and God really took me out of my shell doing that. And I listen back to a lot of the music now and I'm like, why did I ever do that? Because it's really
If you've got any links to these musics.
Oh, it's got to be on YouTube somewhere.
It's got to be on YouTube.
There is a little bit hiding on YouTube.
Is there?
And I can't get rid of it because I've lost my password and the account, so it just sits there.
Get it in the link. Thank you.
What we need is what was your name? You had a name, didn't you? What was it? Come
I
on.
changed it very quickly because I thought
Reuben
really cool.
was it?
No, I was going to go with that, but I called myself Room. I thought it was really clever, like Rue and then the M from my name. I thought it was really cool. It just wasn't.
Nice.
No one really knew what it meant.
Room.
I didn't know what it meant.
Okay.
Kind of like Iron Brew.
Yeah.
But,
that would have been better.
yeah. And then I just said Reuben James, and then it was just whatever. But I stopped after a number of years. And I had a friend that did a lot with the Message Trust and did stuff across Europe, and he was much better than I was. So he continued. But at 21, I was like, it wasn't like something I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
You were like Vanilla Ice.
I was like Vanilla Ice. I was. I remember there was this one time when we were performing in this church, and my mate wanted to do a song, and he asked me to do a verse on his song. We'd only been rapping for like a year. And I was like, well, I'll try, but I don't think I've got enough time to write a verse and memorize it. He said, well, give it a go. Anyway, I tried all week to memorize this verse, and I couldn't remember it. And I get there on the night, and I say at the event, I'm not going to be able to do it because I can't remember the lyrics. And some of the ladies from the church were like, oh no, Reuben, you'll be fine. God will intervene. The lyrics will just come supernaturally. Just be bold for Jesus.
The Bible says, just open your mouth and I'll give you the words. I'll give you the words. It'll be fine.
Not those words.
No, stop.
I get up there. I had it written down on a piece of paper as well.
Yeah.
And I get up there, I said the first few words of the first line, and my mind just went blank.
Oh, no.
Everyone's looking at me. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to freestyle. I didn't know how to do anything. Instead of just kind of just playing along, I just got out the piece of paper, tried to read it. It was the most embarrassing moment of my short-lived rap career.
That's it.
But yeah.
I think God was loving that. He's like, give me the words, and God's like, why was I? This is amazing.
This is boss.
This is good.
Come on.
Is someone getting this for YouTube? Someone called Jay's watching. I think he maybe's pulled out. Did you have one called Rogue Ninja's Anthem?
Oh, he's...
Someone YouTube that. This is
Rogue Ninja's Anthem.
I gotta qualify that. So Jay is actually a friend that he's not a Christian, but he's a friend that I met of all places on Xbox Live. This is like you know, and so this was we met safely. We met at Anfield at a youth game. But we became good friends and played for the same football team. But we're in a clan, an Xbox clan called Rogue Ninjas.
Wow. How
nerdy do I sound right now? You want to go and get back to the wheel. And I was going through this phase where I was trying to do a song every day. So I was releasing a song. I got to around 19 songs. They were all rubbish. But one of them, I thought, let's have some fun. And I did one, like a little anthem for the clan, and it was a joke. Jay thinks I was totally serious, but it was
his favourite track.
But it was, yeah.
So he's still got it.
He's still got it. Yeah.
Can you do a little bit for us now?
Yeah, come on. You must remember it.
Rupert's like, why didn't I stay in Scotland? How many times I charged that car?
I think the lyrics you're just gonna. Oh goodness, the lyrics of the chorus was something like, we bring the guns out.
Wow.
We bring the nades, the C4s. It's all fun, lad. You want to play a sudden death, another draw, lad, and we will never lose until our tent's out. And there was a guy called Rogue Tent. But yeah,
nice.
It just I'll send it to you,
Very
and you
good.
can.
You're not sending it.
Yeah,
He's not going to send it to us.
He won't send that to us.
Oh well. No. So for you, you just had that sense that you wanted to share your faith.
Yeah.
You'd had that experience about life, and you were like, I'm going to do it whatever way I can.
Yeah, and it wasn't because I had to. It wasn't like, I feel like because I'm a Christian, I'm forced to share my faith. It wasn't like I want to convert people either, because it's a tally cut. Oh, look at him. It's more like Jesus, genuinely, even at that young age, I knew that he had made a difference in my life, and I wanted to share that with others. And even to this day, you know, you'll meet people that just don't want anything to do with what you believe, and that's okay. But there's others that you see the difference that Jesus has made after they've said, you know what, I'm going to kind of, I like to say, take a punt on Jesus, you know, give it a go and see what happens.
Amazing.
And so, yeah, that was a desire from a young age, and I've learned and I've grown, and I'm still learning and growing today.
Do you know what I love though? What I love though is if something, you know, if you're serious about something, you've made a choice, and actually life doesn't look the same, and I guess that sense of, if you found something good, you want to talk about it.
Sure.
You want to share it. And actually, it's defining your life, really, isn't it? Because even your job. Tell us a little bit about the organisation you work for, and the job and the role you're in now.
I want to know how we got there first. I want to know the story in between.
Between the rapping and the...
Between the rapping.
Go on.
Before he gets to what he's doing now.
The guys in the States, frankly, he heard my rap music. He heard Rogue Ninjas and thought, we got to get this guy on board.
He's like, what is this?
Yeah.
Did you work anywhere else first?
Yeah, so the chip shop.
Yeah, the chip shop for
I went
the
to
day.
Sports Direct at 16 for
Wow.
2 weeks and left because it was the worst place I've ever
My
worked
word.
in my life. So
You can't get refunds at Sports Direct.
can you not?
I discovered this.
It's
I went in and I said,
expensive.
"Can I have
Do you
some
not
money?"
think it's expensive as
Oh,
well?
it's
Bought my son
something.
a football, like one of them size 4 ones the other day,
Hell yeah.
£18. I was like,
Sports Direct.
maybe
sort
it's
it
just
out.
sign of the times.
Yeah,
But,
well, I was there and we returned something. We tried to return something. They said, "Don't
Was
do."
that present I bought you?
They said,
Don't return
You
it.
taking it back?
yeah, they said we don't do refunds.
Don't do refunds. What type of a shop doesn't do
I said, surely
refunds?
that's illegal. And I said, "Don't
It's
care.
okay, sue us.
Don't do refunds."
You know what it sounds
Ashley
about
just
right?
said no.
I just walked away. I thought there's nothing I can do with that. How can I argue?
She just said, I don't do pain.
Yeah.
To complete that game, son.
Tell you what, if you ever want to, and I shouldn't do this as a Christian, but if you ever want to take anything from Sports Direct, when
Yeah.
I was there, if it was under £15, it would not have a tag. So there you go. Take whatever you want. You can just make your money back.
You just open floodgates there. I used to work in Next. And,
Okay.
and they used to they'd just come in the back door where all the stock was and just take it out of there. Not even bother going in the shop.
Really?
Because they used
Just
to leave the
walk in.
back door open.
Just take what they want. Was
Just have
that
it.
on Boxing Day sales as well?
Yeah, when it's
get
mad
it all
busy,
in.
yeah.
So what happened in between?
Yeah, what
So
happened?
there was that. Then there was Nando's. I took a gap year when I did uni. I did sports science at university, but I worked at Nando's, which was fun. Free chicken. So
Yeah,
if you want
that's
to
what happens when you
have
work at
Nando's every
Nando's.
shift.
McDonald's. This is the McDonald's body.
McDonald's body. And then after that, it was the Apple store. Between that, I went to America a few times, but I worked at Apple and I loved it and I miss it to this day because I got discounts,
Oh,
which was
happy
win-win.
days.
And I wasn't one of the genius guys upstairs that would fix things. I just smiled on the door and just sold people iPads that they
I
already
mean,
wanted.
that's just an easy sell, isn't it?
It
It's
is.
not like you
They
got
want
to
it,
convince
don't they?
anyone. Look, it's an iPad. Just buy it.
Got any sales on? No.
No.
yeah, no sales.
yeah, that's it.
That's the price.
That's
you
the
want
price.
it. I know
Yeah.
you want it.
Yeah,
come with
go
me.
and
Just come with me.
That's it.
Yeah.
I can't imagine.
I
it
used to
easy.
work.
You used
when
to
I
work.
first
Just,
left
he
school.
just used to work. I used to work.
When I first left school, my first job was a white yet youth training scheme, 25 quid a week, programming Apple computers.
Really?
Wow.
Did you
When,
get shares
when
or
they
anything?
were BBC Apple. Do
Really?
you remember it back that far?
No,
when
we
the
don't
logo,
remember that. No.
when the
Is it-
logo was like a rainbow colour instead.
What, like BBC, like the
Yeah.
TV?
Yeah.
What,
That's
they were
used to
in
look
it with
like.
Apple?
Yeah, at the beginning, yeah.
And you were programming
I was learning
Apple
to program
computers.
Apple computers, yeah.
And they were
That's
paying
really
you to do so.
interesting.
Only 25 quid a week, mate. Don't get too excited.
Yeah.
And
Was
I
that a
blew it.
lot back then, though, or...?
No, it was rubbish.
No.
It was
Was
about
it?
2 quid more than the dole.
And so you could have been Steve Jobs.
Well, I could have been his mate. Couldn't have been it. But, you know, could have known him. But no.
I imagine you
Alan had
programming-
other ideas, so it didn't matter. And then I ended up on a building site within 6 months.
Just imagining you programming a computer.
Exactly.
Just shouting at it. Come on now. Just do what I'm telling you to do. Blow on it. Someone blow on it.
Unplug it.
Unplug it. There's a plug.
I was writing code and everything.
Wow.
But I was dyslexic.
How are
so
you writing code?
I've got no idea. It was terrible.
Wow.
It was like this little command prompt thing, you know, and all that.
Yeah.
I remember a little bit
Oh,
of it,
well.
yeah. But never mind. Anyway, sorry,
Things
back
could
to
have
the,
changed.
I
back
love
to the
it.
how you ended up where you are now.
I love it. So, yeah, I did that, and I was also youth pastoring at the same time at
that's-
City
okay,
Church.
yeah, fab.
Which I felt so out of my depth for
Okay.
because we had a youth leader there that went down to Birmingham, a guy called Phil.
Yeah.
And then instead of hiring someone that knew what they were doing, I think Dave Latham, who I love, just was like, you know what, we'll just hire some of the local guys within the church to save a bob or two.
Well, the thing about Dave, the thing about Dave is he does invest in people. He
He's
takes
amazing.
risks with people.
Oh,
and he
he does.
invests in them and he wants to bring them up and encourage them.
There's a few of us, and we have so
does.
much to be. Is
Yeah,
that what
yeah,
you
yeah.
do with Tom?
Yeah.
Or is it the other way around?
No, I did that with him. That's why.
He's tried. He's tried his best.
I've tried my
This is
best,
what
but look at the
happens.
jumper.
But yeah, he
I'm
was great
embarrassed.
giving us those opportunities.
Yeah,
and
he did.
So
He's good at
alongside that and growing in that way,
Yeah,
worked at Apple, and then it was that I was going to become a teacher. I
Okay.
believe that your life is your ministry. I don't believe, and this won't make sense to people that aren't in the church, but sometimes Christians think, well, if I'm to make it as a successful Christian,
Yeah.
then I need to be a minister, or I need to have a pulpit or a platform, and I need to preach, and people need to know who I am, and it's not about that. So for me at that age, I was like, I just want to be a teacher. I'd done some work experience with my uni course in. Actually, did some for Everton with a guy called Johnny Garside, which I hated wearing the kit. But also at a school, just a really poor, rundown, poor area school in Wallasey, and my heart went out to these kids. And I was like, if I can be a role model to them when they have no role model at home, I've won. So that was the plan. Do a PGCE, and then felt the Lord say, short version of it is lay it down. Laid it down, and then within 3 weeks... Ian Yates got in touch with me and said, look, the Billy Graham Evangelistic Association are looking to kind of have a DVD that will go out to churches across the UK. It was like Billy Graham's final ever sermon to the UK.
Wow.
Why didn't you go for the role? So went for it, and the rest is history.
Wow, very good.
So it was,
And Billy Graham in terms of legacy in this city, because I think even people, if they're not from church, quite possibly would have heard of Billy Graham, won't they? Because
Mission England.
Mission England, is that what it's called? And
Yeah.
Billy Graham was a preacher.
Yes.
Who like we would say, people like, I guess from a faith perspective, like God just used him in like an incredible way.
Yeah.
He'd talk, and crowds would just gather all over the world, really.
Yeah.
But massive crowds in England in the 80s. Hey, he
in
filled
84, I think
Anfield,
they say a
didn't he?
million people went through turnstiles in football grounds across the UK.
I was at Anfield when he was there.
Were you?
Yeah.
How was it?
What was it like?
He taught, and if I'm honest, it was
I know
not
what you're
an
gonna say. I know
inspirational.
what you're gonna say.
Not an
He wasn't the-
inspirational.
yeah.
He wasn't like riveting, and he'd have you. But he'd be talking. I was listening, going, "Oh yeah, okay, whatever." And they had this big, massive choir, which was like a choir, so it's rubbish in it. And like literally, he taught, and then he'd just go, "Anyway, if you want to give your life to God, come down on the pitch now. Come down." And like loads of people just got up and went down, and I was like, "How'd you do that? How's that happened?"
Well, I remember with Andy Hawthorne over at The Message, he talked about bringing a whole load of his family because, Billy Graham was coming and he talked about bringing his whole load of his family. And, felt a little bit vulnerable because he's bringing sort of, family members who weren't Christians.
Yes.
And he said Billy was preaching. And there's no doubt Billy Graham was a great preacher. But he said on that day, he was hearing him preach and he was thinking, oh, come on, do something, do it a bit better or something, all that.
And
he was
alliteration.
yeah, and he was shrinking within to himself, thinking, oh, I'm just going to have to apologise to my family. And then Billy Graham said, does anyone want to become a Christian? Come down the front. So it's not even like put a hand up where you can sneak it or whatever. It's like come out. And then Andy said like family members of his just was straight down like that. And he's like, wow, God just worked powerfully.
It's so
through
amazing
that
because
man.
he would say the same. He would say, I was never the best preacher. And so many people will say, oh, I didn't think much was going to happen.
Wow.
But God would move in those meetings. But I think a big part of it, and we do this today, we try and stress that it's not necessarily just about the man on the platform. That actually one of the reasons, obviously, yes, Billy Graham was anointed. He was faithful till the end of his days and served the Lord in that way. But actually a lot of the success came because the church would be mobilized and equipped to say, hey, you yourselves can share your faith with your friends. And so they would be praying for their friends. They would be looking for opportunities, not to do it in a weird way, but just say, hey, can I tell you about Jesus? And hey, would you like to come to this event where you'll hear a bit more? And then the opportunity was ready and prime for them to receive.
Great. So there was real work done around trying to encourage people who were nervous, like all of us, I think, all like Christians are nervous. Like you think this is really important and it's made a difference, but I still feel awkward or nervous to say something to someone who, for them, it might sound like complete lunacy. Yeah. But he was encouraging Christians to training them to share that faith and then giving them opportunity to bring them along to something where he could then share it.
I think there's so many preconceived ideas and misconceptions about church. Like you'll have mates that will probably go, oh, I don't know if I'll go to a church. I have friends that I play footy with and they probably wouldn't go to a church service. But if you're saying, hey, come down to Anfield where you can touch the hallowed turf of Anfield, or we do the arenas now and say, come to an arena, it's a safe place for them. Yeah. And we say it's not mass evangelism, it's personal evangelism on a mass scale. So everyone has a part to play.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you kind of started for the organisation just as, because Billy Graham's passed away now.
Yes.
And so you started as he was coming towards the end of his life.
I was a DVD salesman. Wait. So just fly these DVDs out. You probably got one through the post.
Very good. Yeah. So that was your role, was kind of distributing some of his teaching.
I loved it. It was a real privilege, and it still is a real privilege to work for the ministry. But it was, just saying this is a great film that you can use, and it was Billy Graham at the age of 95 sharing a message, but then we'd bring in testimonies from like
we showed it in church, I think,
others.
Yeah.
And then my role just progressed, and now I just work with a team that's focused on festivals and events. And so I joke with my mates that aren't Christians when they ask me what I do. I used to go, I work for this Christian organisation. Have you ever heard of the Billy Graham Evangelical? And it's like, no, they're just lost.
I organise festivals, mate.
I just say, it's events management with a twist. We talk about Jesus, but we put on events.
Nice.
But you'd be surprised the importance of like reminding people what the Lord has done, because I was just flew. It doesn't happen all the time, but I was in the States last week for some meetings, and we were getting a taxi. Some of my colleagues and I were getting a taxi back to the airport in Charlotte, North Carolina, where the main road out of the airport is named after Billy Graham.
Wow.
And when we're talking about like what we're here for, and I say, oh, so you've heard of Billy Graham? He didn't have a clue. And I'm like, how do you live in the city where the offices are, where the streets are named after him? And you just realise the younger generation, we can't necessarily just presume, oh, they've heard of Billy Graham. And so...
And this is a guy who, you know, when he came to the UK, the Queen asked to meet with him. Hey, he like sat down with the Queen.
And Parkinson. That's a thing.
He was on Parkinson, was he?
Yeah, I think
the
so,
Queen's a bit more impressive than Parkinson, isn't it?
Well,
it's all levels, isn't it? It's still good, but it's the Queen. Very good. Okay, so now what sort of venues does the organisation do events in? Is it?
Yeah, we do them all over the world. And so where I was last week, we've got the whole team from across the world. So we got the Asian team, South American team, you know, the Eastern European team, Russian team, and they do them all over. And it's amazing, really. Like, the UK seems to be a tough place, and I'm sure there's many reasons for that. But in Europe, it's like we just finished in Rome. You know, 12,000 overflow, even more wanting to come that couldn't get in.
Wow.
We're seeing, like, we did one in Brazil, Rio de Janeiro beach, and you've got 100,000 people on the beach.
100,000 people come to the... Were they just at sunbathing, or did they come to the gig?
They were sunbathing, and we said, right, you're in now. You have to
lock the doors, build the fences.
Yeah.
Was there a volleyball game on at the same time?
They're like, what? Come forward. No, they were all...
100,000
We
people.
trained,
Wow.
I say my colleagues trained 32,000 Christians.
Wow.
When we did Liverpool, and it just puts into perspective, and it's not all Liverpool, but it's just the UK's just different culturally. We probably put around 2,000 through the course, so it's just perspective.
But still, that's 2,000 people who are Christians.
Christians.
Yeah, trained.
I mean, that's still incredible, isn't it? It is a lot of people.
So we have to do that. We build a team, and the team are phenomenal. But yeah, we're in the the M&S Bank Arena, and we're in the Hydro Arena in Scotland. We're in Birmingham as well soon.
Great.
We're just in the Excel Centre in London, which was great, where 11,000 came. And we're fearing the worst. We're trusting God, but it was bank holiday weekend in August. All the train strikes are on, but yeah.
Incredible.
It's always one of those days. But 11,000 come, just under 1,000 respond to the gospel. We don't say 1,000 responded in a sense that they gave their life to Jesus, but you get all sorts of different,
and
responses.
we do.
It's amazing.
We have at times when we've talked about Billy Graham, we will say, to our church, put your hand up if you're at Anfield in the 80s.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it?
And you just see hands go up around the room, like a real legacy of what that ministry that is doing and continues to do. And 100,000, that's the thing we don't get, I think, from a perspective, of like Christianity worldwide, the speed at which it's growing, really.
Yes,
I think in the UK, we're seeing church decline. Although I was chatting to a pastor from the RCCG denomination, it's a Nigerian church based, that's got branch in England now, and they are exploding across the UK.
Are they the fastest growing denomination in the UK?
It. Yeah, they are. So seeing incredible growth there. But I think we get this perception that Christianity is on the out, that actually, we're moving past it, and that. But actually, I think we're seeing, exponential growth around the world of people coming to faith.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just distracted by Jack.
I don't know, he's getting off, is he? He's cold.
Do you not have a heater like I do?
No, he doesn't get one.
Oh no,
he's young. He's all right.
That's it.
Northern, good lad.
It's going to be colder in Germany, mate.
Yeah,
you brace yourself.
Yeah, Frankfurt's freezing. That's its nickname, freezing Frankfurt.
Yeah. So, Reuben, you've even written a book about evangelism, haven't you?
I brought one for both of you. I thought you can use it as a tea coaster if you run out of your... if you run out of your...
Have you got an Audible one now?
Yeah, do you know what? I did the Audible, and we never got it online. Maybe one day.
Have you got one there?
I have. It's in my bag.
Oh, great. Tell us a little bit about it. What it's called?
Yeah, it's called The Introverted Evangelist.
Okay, very good.
So it's very much... it's my story. I try and kind of just share very vulnerably and embarrassingly a lot of the things that I've gone through.
Okay.
So there's a lot of fun in there. A lot of people, even at the beginning of the book, are going, what's this even about? Because I'm talking about getting chased by gangs through the streets of Bebington on the Wirral. And not as scary as Kensington. But just try and make it as easy as possible for people to read. But it's really just encouraging every reader that they can share their faith. That it's not just the extrovert. Because I grew up thinking, it's just the loudmouths that are supposed to share their faith and I can just slip away and just be nice to people. But it's actually, we're all called to be bold and share our faith. It's not always easy. It's difficult. But here are some practical tools that I've learned and used that will help you in doing the same.
And it's also good to see the things you got wrong.
Yes.
To put them in, honestly, because then people don't think you're just this super Christian who works for Billy Graham campaign.
Oh, no, mate, I'm the furthest.
You give them permission to fail and feel all right about themselves.
I think one of the biggest problems we have in the church when it comes to sharing faith is that we've made it all about the success story.
Yeah.
I was at a meal once with quite a well-known minister in Pentecostal circles. This was years ago in Liverpool. And we're at this restaurant, and I guess we're all looking to him, and there's pressure on him to perform. And he tries to reach out to the waitress, and it's just like, it doesn't go well at all. She's not pleased. The word he had for her is wrong, and we're going, oh my goodness, what's going to happen here? And he says, you know what, I might share that later when I'm speaking. And he said, I've got friends that will never share the failure stories. Because they think it'll kill the faith in the room. But he says, I like to share them because it gives people permission to say, hey, you can get it wrong and we're all learning and growing.
It's good, isn't it? It's good. Yeah, and I think that's it, isn't it? I think, there's been plenty of times where I thought, I'll say something, and I do. And then afterwards you go, why did I do that?
Go on, tell us. Can you think of one?
I think basically, I try. And afterwards, I just go, sorry, God, about that. I say to the person, honestly, try again with someone else. You'll get a better go.
Try again with someone else, except Alan.
I said, no, Alan, go over there. Reuben's over there.
Reuben's all right.
I remember once being outside the Royal in Liverpool, and I was around 19, 20 at the time, and I just would go out on the streets because I wanted testimonies. I wanted to see people come to Christ. And there's probably something not right in my heart. My heart was right, but I wanted to share these amazing stories. And I had a mate that was going out in London and he was having these amazing encounters. And I thought, I want that. So I went outside the Royal and I'm fighting with myself for like 40 minutes to go and speak to these guys that are there and they're smoking and they're doing all of this. And eventually I plucked up the courage and I was like, excuse me, I just want you to know Jesus loves you. And they just looked at me and said, if you effing tell me anything more, I'm going to smack you around the face. Just went home. Back to Kenny.
Quick run.
Burning up, thinking, I'm so embarrassed.
Did they ever tell you the story
That's not going
about...
on Facebook.
Did they ever tell you the story about Mark Oldfield?
No, go on.
Mark, who used to come to our church, lived over the road.
Yeah,
he was all right when he was
a good lad.
Bit off his head, but he was all right. And he got stopped by the Jehovah's Witnesses one day, right? And they said to him, can we just talk to you about Armageddon and the end of the world? And he went, you've got 5 minutes. So they start talking to him and he's listening to them. And then after 5 minutes, he just went, stop. Never mind all that nonsense. Who's going to deliver my milk in the morning?
What did they say?
I don't know.
They didn't have an answer for that out of the playbook, did they?
Didn't have an answer, Pat's answer for that one.
Wow.
Who's going to deliver me milk? Never mind Armageddon.
Wow.
I did his funeral. He had Shine On You Crazy Diamonds as his Pink Floyd song, top song.
Very good song.
It's 27 minutes long. We had to fade it out.
You only get 10 minutes at the creme. Oh, bless him. Bless him. Fantastic.
He was
So the book would be a great read for people, any Christians, for however long they've been a Christian, and they think, I want to try and share a little
Definitely.
bit with friends
and
or family.
I talk on two things. I kind of have a subtitle that says the universal call to know Jesus and make him known. And I talk about how we can never truly make Jesus known until we first know him. And when I talk about know him, it's not head knowledge, but it's that heart connection that we're walking in step with him. We're reading the Bible. We're spending time in prayer. We have that desire to want to please him and live for him. And out of that, the overflow comes. And
Very
so I
good.
touch on a lot of that as well.
Very good.
Yeah.
Have you got a? Can you show us a copy? Or
Shall I
not?
lean over?
Yeah, lean over and get it. We'll ad lib while we're doing that, and we can get it. You can get it on
Amazon, can you?
bookshops, Amazon.
To be honest, my last order.
The Introverted Evangelist. Okay.
Yeah.
What are you looking at me for?
Well, I knew I didn't know whether to help you out with the name of the book or just to let you swing in the wind.
I knew it.
Okay, good.
You think
be
I
honest,
don't know
though-
my own grandson's name?
If anyone's desperate,
Yeah.
I'll give them away for free because
Oh, bless you.
I got rid of quite a lot, and then I thought this is going great.
Yeah.
So I ordered another batch, and I've had around 400 sitting in my back room for like 8 months.
These are flying
So-
out. Get another 20,000. I'll get to Brazil and just hand them out on the beach.
I've done my family. I've done the extended family tree, haven't I? They've all
That's
bought
it.
them now.
They're all getting one for Christmas.
I found everyone on Ancestry, and I'm still looking.
500 years of Scousers getting it.
That's great. Fantastic.
Show us
So
a
good.
picture
Yeah, go on.
so,
over
so
there.
we
it is.
know what
Oh,
they're
look
looking
at
at.
this. Beautiful.
Just tilt it down so it doesn't shine on the lights a little bit.
You see that?
I think so. I can't
Very
see
good.
anything, me, mate. Yeah, that's it. I can see that.
Very
The
good.
Introverted
Amazing.
Evangelist.
Mate,
Amazon.
Very good.
Amazon.
Yeah.
Very
We're
good.
not getting any royalties off it, so buy them.
That's it.
Just making sure in case you know one of them associated links that
Oh,
people say,
yeah.
"Oh, I got this book and it was amazing, but I'm getting a tenner off every one." You know, one of them ones.
Yeah.
You
You
know,
should start
we're not.
doing those.
You just doing it.
With
Kindness
nuggets.
of your heart, goodness of
With
your heart.
nuggets.
That's it. Very
Yeah.
good. Well, it's been ace. Should we
Yeah.
play a game?
Well, yeah,
Let's
yeah,
play a game.
We're gonna play.
Alan's attempted a Billy Graham themed version
Iron Brew.
of Iron Brew. Billy,
Iron Brew.
You're not going to test
Iron
me, are
Brew.
you, on Billy Graham knowledge?
No, no,
Because I'm getting
no,
a sack in the
no,
morning.
this
if
is
any of
dead
my
easy.
bosses are
in the
watching
morning.
This is dead easy.
Okay.
It's blankety blank.
Okay.
You know how blankety blank works,
No,
don't you?
remind
we
me.
say something, and there's a blank in the sentence, and then you have to think of a word. Us three think of one. Everyone at home thinks of this,
Okay.
the blank. And then you say it, and we say whether we agree with you.
And it's got to be like the most obvious, is that right?
That's
not like
usually
a
the
trick.
best one
Okay.
to go. It's not a
Usually.
trick.
Not
Trick
like
one.
a trick.
No,
Okay.
normally not a trick. I was literally dressed as a lobster
Okay.
one week, and the answer was lobster,
Okay,
clearly.
okay.
And she said caviar, didn't she?
she did.
Or champagne or something.
Who
I
was
couldn't
that
believe
again?
it, Joe.
Joe. Bless
Joe,
her.
she lit, and I was like, I couldn't have made it any easier for you.
Right.
Okay, so go for the obvious.
Obvious.
Because
Obvious.
that's what we're thinking.
Okay, and if you're at home or you're listening
Yeah.
on catch up, then you can shout.
You can
just shout at your
just shout
iPhone.
out randomly on the bus. So, okay, we're doing it. Blankety blank, blankety blank, blankety blank, blankety blank.
Good.
Blankety blank, blankety
are you
blank,
doing?
blankety blank. I'm getting on your nerves. That's what I'm doing.
Sorry, Reuben.
It's okay. It's okay.
Here we go.
Billy Graham's passion for leading people to Jesus was so infectious that it rubbed off on those around him.
Yeah. Okay.
Even his dog used to lead blank or blanks to the Lord.
So have a little think.
Have a little think.
Jack,
thinking,
you
Jack?
have a little think,
Completely
Jack.
blank. It's completely blank.
Your head's
Every
always
time we ask you,
I'm terrible at
blank is
Blank
not
is
the
blank.
answer.
Every
That's
time
the
we
only
say-
word that shouldn't be in your head.
every time we say something blank, Jack goes, yeah,
blank.
my mind's blank. Yeah.
Blank. Blank. Is it blank?
It's a different word, Jack. Always a different word. Good luck in Germany, mate.
Yeah.
Flermanek.
So I'll read it again.
What's German for blank?
I'll read it again. Billy Graham's passion for leading people to Jesus was so infectious
Yeah.
that it rubbed off on those around him.
Okay.
Even his dog used to lead blank or blanks
Okay.
to the Lord.
All right. Some people are having a go.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. What? Have
Okay.
you got one,
Have you
Reuben?
got one in your head, Reuben?
I have, but it wouldn't make sense if it wasn't blanks. It can't be blank.
No,
It could
no.
be blanks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fine.
It can
Go
be
on.
either
Go
or.
on, yeah.
Yeah. So what are you
Okay.
going to say?
Cats.
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 What were you going to say, Jack? Blank.
I've got none.
Oh, God.
honestly, I'm trying. I am terrible at this game.
And I'm out.
Yeah, go on.
Do I get points if you say cats? Say cats.
Just say cats, he gets a point.
Sad.
What were you going to say, Tom?
Cats!
And I was going to say cats.
Was it cats?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cats.
Promotion.
Yes, you got.
Pete and Mark did go
Two
for
and a bit.
people.
People.
It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense,
What's
Mark.
going on?
But a lot of strays, cats, strays,
Stray cats.
stray cats. 2 for 1.
Okay, the next one's even easier.
Amazing.
If you get this wrong, I think you'll be bad. And we haven't even got to the story
That,
yet.
I'm
that makes
feeling
me
the pressure
nervous,
now.
though.
I
would
know.
Feel, yeah.
I like putting a bit of pressure on.
Okay,
Tom.
go on.
Okay, this is just 2 words. It's
Okay.
blank and another word. Right? Blank, evangelist.
That's hard.
That's not it.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's not hard.
I don't know.
Have you got one?
I don't even know what evangelist is.
What is an evangelist, Reuben? Come
How
on.
long
It
you been
is
coming to our
somebody that
church?
tells other people about Jesus, shares the good news, and they may equip others to do the same.
Okay, so
Good answer.
blank, evangelist. Okay, have a
Blank
think, have a
evangelist.
think, have a think. He gets this wrong.
I've got it. Do you
Everyone
know
at
what?
home.
I'm pulling up
Everyone
blank
Out
now.
for this game.
Everyone at home.
Everyone at home.
Can I check my
Write it in.
Facebook Live?
No,
No,
not a
you
chance.
can't.
Because they're laughing
Everyone
at you
at
right
home.
now.
Everyone
Text
at
me.
home.
Someone text me.
Everyone at home. Come on.
Is it to do with Billy Graham as well?
Just blank evangelist. So we're going. Should we go over to him because he looks like he hasn't got a clue? He's blank.
I'm gonna have to
Okay.
think of something.
Do
So
you know
come
what?
on
I
then.
did panic at first, but
Yeah.
then my common sense
Kicked
came
in.
back to me.
Yeah,
Brain
yeah.
kicked in,
Yeah.
and I thought,
So
yeah.
go on then, Reuben.
Hey, go on.
Hit us with it.
The
Blank.
evangelist.
The.
Billy Graham, the evangelist.
How many
No.
blanks do you want? It's just one word. Can I go?
I'm barred.
Have you got anything?
I'm not. No.
No.
He's got nothing. What,
See,
what
I
would
didn't even
you
know
have
what the
said?
word was.
Reuben, have a think, lads. Come on.
I'm going with
I'm going with
introverted
introverted.
evangelist. There's a really great book.
Hey, it's because I'm so humble. I don't want to
That's it.
keep promoting my book. That's what it is.
I thought
the
you
people
should
have
get
heard.
that one. I wrote that thinking he'll get that, no
I'm
problem.
thinking. I was just
good.
thinking Billy Graham. Billy Graham,
Someone has said,
But you
what-
work for him.
the introverted evangelist. That's what I was
That's
getting
it.
to.
Here we
I was
go.
getting there.
someone said I was going to audiobook, but I can't remember what it's called.
Who's that said that? That's
Pete
funny.
said, "What's your
Yeah.
book called?" There we go. Very good. The lucky evangelist, the reluctant evangelist.
That was someone who couldn't remember the title, innit?
That's it. And the happy evangelist. They're normally pretty angry, aren't they? Those
I
evangelists.
reckon you should read this one out.
I'm not. What?
This one, because it's
Okay.
it's-
Can I just check? Because sometimes he
Yeah,
gets
yeah.
me to read things out, but then it
No.
turns out it's a dirty joke, and I don't get it.
I never do that.
And it's really awkward when he does it at
Other
funerals.
people do it on their funerals.
Okay, here we go. My Emma's just said shy,
Shy evangelist.
which is like another
It's
word for
close.
introverted, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
It's close,
just-
Em.
What were you thinking, Emma?
But it's
What
not
were you
right.
thinking? Okay, you want me to read this out? Let me
Yeah,
just check. Based on what I'm.
See
Okay.
that instead.
All right. This doesn't even make sense. As you know, Reuben, the Bible says that when we get to heaven, we get rewards based on how faithful we've been. Does the Bible say that?
Yeah. Read it now and again.
He's looking, saying, "Oh, okay."
Okay, so we get rewards based on how faithful we've been. Based on that, Alan's expecting blank when he arrives. This one could actually
This
be
could
blank.
be anything.
This could be the word blank.
That's going to be nothing.
So say it again. Say it one more time.
Say it again, Tom.
As you know, Reuben, the Bible says that when we get to heaven, we get rewards based on how faithful we've
Yes.
been. Based on that, Alan's expecting blank when he arrives. Let us know what you're thinking at home.
Yeah.
Pete's gone for lobster. That's pretty good, Pete, actually. That's pretty good. This is one of those ones where I actually need some people to write in at home because I have no
I'm gonna
idea.
say
Well, to be fair,
beers.
I wrote the question and I've got no idea.
Oh, I'm not allowed to say yet.
hang on.
I'm getting too excited.
People,
Jack?
have you got anything?
I was gonna say nothing.
You're going to
Nothing.
say nothing. Well,
The literal word nothing.
Oh, not
No,
nothing.
I
You weren't
don't
going to say
have-
nothing.
but he hasn't answered yet. So
Not
keep
that I
that
know
in
of,
your
I
head.
haven't heard them. So.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, you should have heard me.
Go on. What are you
was
going with?
What were you going with?
Beers.
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 That'd
nice
be all right,
cold
wouldn't
brew.
it? That would be nice.
Unlimited supply of beers.
What was I going to say?
How would I know? How would I know?
I was going to say nothing.
Nothing.
Oh, well done.
There you go. Very good.
So,
I
me
was,
and Jack
I
will
was
drink these.
well. I was going to join the majority of people who have gone with Iron Brew.
It's not iron.
Sorry, what was
It's
it? again?
iron.
Iron.
Iron brew.
You're saying it. Is that
Iron
supposed
Brew.
to be a Scottish accent?
No,
now?
Iron Brew.
We've got Scottish people watching.
They're messing. Iron brew.
Steve Cookson went with electric car.
Electric car. Send it back down
That's
to me.
it. Didn't make it to heaven, the electric car. Needed charging.
I think we're going to
Didn't
bin
find it
that
funny.
game off from now on, Tom.
Thank goodness.
That's nearly as bad as Linky. That.
It's a Christmas special next week. We'll do a Christmas game.
We'll do a Christmas
festive
game. What's
game.
a Christmas game?
I'll tell you next week.
Okay, yeah. You're not wearing that jumping again, are you? You've got to get another one.
This is the warm-up act.
You've got to get rid
I'm
of that
getting
jumping.
it going to a next
Give that
level
to
next
Elijah.
week.
It'll fit him now.
I'll tell you. This is the warm-up
Or
act.
Harvey. I've seen Harvey, a picture of Harvey
He's got the
with
same
one
one
of
of
them.
these, yeah.
Yeah,
We've
we'll
got
give him that.
matching
And
ones.
when he's
Same
another 2
size.
years older, he'll fit in that.
It's brutal. It's not stopping. So,
So,
it's this time.
it is.
Reuben, you've been a great guest.
Yeah.
It's been a real honour to be
You've
here.
made yourself vulnerable.
Yeah.
People have put the link in the comments to the YouTube video of your song. So it cost you something tonight.
Yeah,
And we will probably share it.
We will.
as long as it's not a reel or something, because I will never be able to live that down.
We're going to tag you in a reel.
It's going to be a reel. We're not going to lie to you.
We're going to pay Jack extra this week to make
Just
one.
the one.
Jack will get it. Jack will blow the budget making a reel. Yeah.
So
Your Baptist budget.
that's it.
That's what is going on.
We're going to spend all of those Baptist
Millions.
insurance company millions.
Yeah.
So basically, Reuben, what happens is you tell a story now, and everyone at home.
Have you forgotten?
There was a glitch. That was like something like the
That was a-
Matrix.
If we all freeze, no one will notice that I forgot what I'm going to say.
It's like the beginning of the episode all over again. There's no sound. You tell a story. If it's a good one, then it's going to be like this.
Get 'em on the
We're going to
wall,
get you
lad.
on the wall,
Yeah.
and you're part of our members list. There's
Just
many
distinguished.
many good. A lot of your mates up there, so you'd have a good
They are.
time if you were part of
Hang out
this.
with them again.
Yeah. Come here anytime.
Anytime.
Amazing.
But if
As
it
long as
goes
your car gets you there.
if it goes wrong, you get
You're
barred.
bad, lad.
You get barred, and
Never
that's
to return
that.
again. That's that.
We can't talk to you ever again.
We can't.
All we can do is ridicule you on Facebook with clips.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully this story will get me on the wall.
Come on
Okay.
then.
Well-
Hit us with it. Sorry.
Okay, well, I'm cheating a little bit because I like to listen to you guys because it,
Ah,
when I'm driving.
he's
So-
buttering us up.
Yeah.
So,
Put 'em
yeah,
on the
so
wall,
I've heard a few
lads. Get 'em on the
stories.
wall.
I said to Tamar, should I tell the story of when I nearly killed a 90-year-old gentleman at City Church in ministry time?
Oh wow.
But she said no. She said
Oh.
tell the Facebook story. So
Okay.
I'll tell the Facebook story if that's okay.
We do want to know the other one as well now, don't we?
It's bad. It's probably wouldn't make you laugh. You'd probably be shocked more. But anyway, the Facebook story.
Yeah.
So this was probably, I'd been married around 2 years. So it was around 2016. And as you know, we used to do this youth night, late night service. And we would get people from all over Liverpool that would come to worship and to, hear us preach about Jesus, share about Jesus. And so naturally you start getting connected with quite a lot of people. And at this point, we weren't doing late night service, but someone messaged me. This lady messaged me out the blue on Facebook, and she was like, "Hi, Reuben, how you doing?" And it's back and forward a little bit. She's a little bit older than I am. She said, "I'm writing a book." And I was like, "Oh, amazing." This was, many years before I'd even thought of writing something. So I was not thinking she was asking for advice. She said, "I'm writing a book. And I'm really excited. It's going to be a book that I feel is going to really just help people just navigate trials and struggles in their life." And I'm like, "This sounds amazing. What's it about?" And she said, "Well, when I grew up," she said, I shouldn't laugh at this, but she said, "I used to struggle with same-sex attraction."
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And she said, "Well, I feel now like I'm in a relationship. I've got a boyfriend, and I just want to share my story about how I feel the Lord has kind of led me through all that. And now I'm happy with a boyfriend." And I'm like, okay, that's, it's a difficult subject to do, but go for it. And she's like, "Well, what I'm doing is I'm collating other friends that have got these similar stories. And so I've spoken to this girl and this other girl, and I'd like your opinion on their stories. So she shares these stories, and I'm like, yeah, it's good. And she goes, well, you know, what I'd really like is for you to share your story. And I'm like, what do you mean? I'm trying to be polite. And she said, well, you're gay, aren't you? And you've just got married, so that's an amazing testimony to share. I was absolutely horrified. One of my friends, when I told them I was going to share this, they said, make sure you don't sound like homophobic. I was just like, no, you've got this completely wrong. This is not who I am. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, oh. And so we talked through it, and she was like, I'm so sorry. And I straight away was having to go, do you know what? Like, where's this story come from? Let's try and find out where this story's gone. And she was like, oh, it was late night service. Someone told me that you were really into men. And so we had to work through that. I don't know if that's awkward or funny, because I'm not getting many chuckles, but Tamar and her side of the family thought it was absolutely
I'm really sorry
hilarious.
I spread that rumour on you.
Was it you, Alan? Yeah, so,
and you've got to tell us the story about the fella you prayed for as well now.
So I was just about to leave City Church. It was probably around 2012, around 2014. And so Dave Latham said, Reuben, before you go, I'd like you to preach, like kind of like preach and finish strong. So I was like, I'm going to go out with a bang. So literally. So I preach a message, and you'll know City Church, the chairs go quite far to the front. And then there's like a very small gap. Yeah. And at the end, one thing I did say to Dave, I said, I'd love to preach, but Tamar and I have to shoot straight off. We had somewhere to be. So I was like, I'll preach. I might do a little short response, but then I've got to go. And he was like, yeah, no problem at all. So I do the message, and then I do a response. And I'm looking at Dave saying, I'm going to have to go in 5 minutes. And people start coming forward. And just praying for people. And because it's so cramped at the front, I don't know why I did this. It wasn't a spiritual reason, but I get down on my knees and I'm praying for someone for some reason on the front row that's sitting on the front row. And my legs are trailing behind me. And there's a gentleman in the church called Eric. And Eric's the sweetest. You know Eric? Yeah. Is he still alive?
I have no idea. Not now, you killed him.
He's the sweetest
he
old
was,
man.
But then he had a fall, slipped over someone's leg.
Broke his hip,
and that was the end of it.
He's the sweetest old man that you'll ever meet, and he's got his dungarees and stuff. And I'm there praying. I should have my eyes open, but they're closed, and I'm praying for this guy. Next minute, I feel someone trip over the back of my legs, and then I just hear this almighty thud, like the loudest thud you'll hear. And I turn around, and Eric is there laying on his face, and he's not moving. And literally for around 5 to 10 seconds, do you know when you just feel physically sick?
Oh my
I was
word.
like, I've killed him. Like, genuinely, that's what went through my mind. And I'm looking, no one saw what I'd done, thankfully. They didn't know it was me. They just thought he went out in the Holy Spirit or something. But they roll him over. There's blood pouring from him. No. Blood everywhere. I'm like, oh my goodness. Everyone starts getting around him. People are getting tissues and they're wiping him up. And he's just he starts moving, but he's completely dazed.
No one's
I'm
saying
just
more,
like,
Lord, now, are they?
I'm like, Dave, I like kind of just put my arm on him to like praying for him. And I was like, Tamar, we got to go. Dave, we got to go. We left. And we're in the car. Tamar's like, what's the matter? I'm like, well... And I explained the story, and she was like, you've got to tell someone. I was like, yeah, I think I should. But thankfully, he was okay after that, but it was horrific.
Never been seen again.
That was your last week in the church.
Went out with a bang.
Goodbye, God bless. My work here is done.
Oldest member of the family, boom.
Wow, what a story. Wow. All right, let us know.
Let's see what's happening.
Let us know in the comments. Oh, Miriam, bless her. She says, on the wall, please. I love Reuben Morley. Miriam. Oh, she loves... Instead of More Lord, Emma's gone with Morley Lord.
Oh, Emma. I like that.
I'll bring some Iron Brew home for that, Emski. Very good. On the wall says Ray, Mark, John. Let me get the pen. I think you're on the wall.
Yeah, isn't it?
Here we go. Let's find a good spot for you, Reuben. Here we go at the bottom.
Oh.
Do you want your DJ name? Should we go for Room?
Room. Whatever you want.
How am I spelling Room?
Reum. Does that mean I can only come back if I come in my gold shoes? And
do you know what I think?
I think you can only come back if you rap.
We've been thinking about getting to live events. Do you think you could get us 100,000 people on the beach in Rio for Wednesday night at Finnegan's, and we could have Reuben Morley back in the
back in the house.
There we go. Fantastic.
Reuben Morley. Hey.
Reuben, thank you so
Thank you
much
for
Thank you
for
for
coming.
coming.
Like, to come from Scotland
Yeah.
when you've had the day you've had and to still get here for us tonight. What a blessing.
We even delayed the start for them, didn't we? We
That's
made it
it.
all
We made the
rubbish at the
technical
beginning.
fault just so that
just
you
to cover
guys-
it up.
That's it.
We do anything for our guests.
And who's at home? You've got family and children, hey, at home.
I think Tamar might be watching,
Very good.
and the kids will be sleeping.
Oh,
So my
bless.
3 kids will be sleeping.
Fantastic. Well, you say thank you to her
Yeah.
for us for having it
I will.
coming
No,
straight
thank
here
you
from
for having
Scotland.
me.
Yeah.
And also, you've got a podcast on the go. Hey,
It's not as good as yours, I'm going to be honest.
no, well,
You were the
Let the
inspiration. I'm like walking here and I'm going, we've got this tiny little shed with no heating and it's too hot in the summer and we're shaking in the winter.
Let the listener be.
go
the
on.
judge of
No,
that.
because I've listened and I thought it was
Do you
good.
like it?
I thought it was really good. Are you gonna do some more episodes?
We
you
are
need to.
like John, who's kind of like the guy that makes it all happen.
Yeah.
He's just going through family things. His son's
Okay.
been really poorly.
Yeah.
Through it now, through the tough stuff. So we want to do another one before Christmas, but we called
Great.
it Bible bashing
Yeah.
with Mac and
Nice.
Morley.
So Bible bashing with Mac and Morley, and you can find that wherever you get your podcasts. And there's a couple episodes up, and there's going to be more to come soon.
So we have fun.
Fantastic.
We just waffle about nothing, and we're not as structured as you are, but we just
Oh
have
wow,
fun
you're
with it.
really not structured. Then.
And when something goes, we're not live, so when I say something that I shouldn't say, like
Yeah.
I may have said this time, I go, John, that's not getting in the
just
edit.
cut that
Take
out.
it out. And we've had
No.
a lot of that.
We should
So,
really do that, me and Alan. It's,
I've got an image to protect, John. We're
Yes.
taking that out.
Very good, very good. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you to everyone who's coming for a drink, for sticking with us when we had some technical problems.
Yeah.
Next week is our Christmas special,
Yeah,
and
and we've got lots planned for it.
we
It's
have.
going to be amazing.
Reuben was talking about all this structure.
Yeah, all this structure we've got. There's games. There's games.
Mike said we should have a
Games.
Christmas jumper competition next week.
There is no competition, is there?
Well, look, this is the start. This is a high bar,
Mine's
and you're
the
going to have
best.
to try and.
They can send their pictures in with the Christmas jumpers so we can judge their best.
send us a
We'll
picture.
send them some beer mats for the best
Best Christmas jumper. Send us a picture
So it won't
with
be
you wearing your
nuggets of the
Christmas
week
jumper.
next week. Have we got a nuggets of the week this week? Did we even bother?
I think there was one, wasn't it? Oh, who do I remember now? It's gone. I'm going to look through the comments and we'll send something through the post.
Oh, okay.
You're not having my iron brew though, because
You can't because he has his scabby lips on it. I mean, honestly,
Ray said if
you
you
can have mine.
Ray said if you edited the show, it'd only be 5 minutes long.
No, he's already been a nuggets of the week. He can't win.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Emma says, Tom, your nephew is called Reuben. How can you still not spell the name? I try. God bless you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Oh,
much for
yeah,
joining
yeah,
us. And we will see you again next week for another episode of Wednesday Night at Finnegan's. Good night. And
See you
God
later.
bless.